This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Hey guys, Big Paul here. So our friend Seth Feroce, whatever his name is, made a blanket statement that steroids will kill you. I honestly debated whether or not I even wanted to address this, but I had so many people reach out to me, ask me what I thought about it, so I figured I would post something up. He's kind of broken the internet with this one. He's got 170,000 views, I see, on this one. So bravo to you, sir, for getting some YouTube views on this one. It's a pretty bold statement. So anyway, let's hear what he has to say.
It seems that nobody's fucking saying it, and everybody wants to hear somebody say it, and everybody's trying to think of a way to say it without sounding like a complete fucking prick, but about bodybuilding and motherfuckers dying. So, it seems that I'm going to be the motherfucker to say it. Steroids fucking kill you. You get it? They fucking will kill you. They'll kill you. That's it. Bodybuilding is made up of the craziest motherfuckers on the planet. The craziest. We're all fucked up and crazy. We love it. There's no saving the sport or what can we do to make it better, make it more healthy. No. It is the one fucking sport that has no rules, mother.
Man, I wonder how many fucking cups of coffee Seth had that morning when he did this. Man, he's got the crazy eyes going on. Holy shit, dude, that was intense. I get what he's saying. And I talk to dudes all the time that are just doing insane, irresponsible shit. And they are going to kill themselves or shorten their lives. But a blanket statement saying that steroids will kill you is I wouldn't say disingenuous, but it is incorrect. This is relative, and I know I've talked about it before, and there's an axiom in toxicology that it's the dose that kills. Okay? Dose, duration, compound choice, these things all matter. You drink enough water, you'll die. It happens, it seems silly, but there are dudes that run marathons and drink a shit ton of water, create an electrolyte imbalance, and they fucking die. It happens from time to time, Now the difference between a therapeutic dose and a toxic dose is pretty wide when it comes to drinking water, but I get what he's saying here. Here's the thing with steroids. I've never heard of anybody taking a testosterone shot and dying 15 minutes later. It is not something that's going to kill you acutely. It is akin, for me, to drinking alcohol. The dose, the duration, the frequency, the type of substance that you use, the all has an impact on your health. So drinking a glass of wine every day for the rest of your life more than likely won't shorten your lifespan. Maybe. Hammering a bottle of Jim Beam every day, you're going to have some poor health outcomes, more than likely. So the compound that you have chosen, the Jim Beam, is more toxic than the glass of wine, and you're having a larger quantity of it with more frequency, because you're going to be drinking shots all night long versus having just a glass with dinner. So it is somewhat relative to compound choice, to the amount you take, to the duration that you take it. There are other factors that play in here too, as well, such as your lifestyle. Are you taking recreational drugs? Are you drinking alcohol on top of taking PEDs? Do you eat like shit? All these things play a factor. Are you doing things to mitigate the health consequences? Such as managing your blood pressure, keeping your lipids in check. So these all, it's multifactorial. It's not as simple as black and white, steroids will kill you. I'm not going to say definitively, but I'm fairly confident that you could take TRT level doses of testosterone and therapeutic doses of growth hormone for the rest of your life and probably live a full lifespan with no issues. You know, you're hammering a gram of Tren and 150 milligrams of Anadrol every day and, 1,500 milligrams of test, and you're going out and partying with your friends on the weekend and drinking and doing recreational drugs, you're not going to have a good outcome. And I do get what he's saying. He talked about how there's no rules in bodybuilding, and bodybuilders are some extreme motherfuckers. And I will tell you that at the high levels of the pros, it does seem to attract guys that have a higher tolerance for risk. Guys that don't give a fuck, basically. It's the type of dude, and there are a lot of sports that are dangerous. It is the type of guy that would be an MMA fighter. You have to have a little bit of I don't give a fuck in you if you're going to go into the ring and get kicked in the fucking head. That's a dangerous sport. I'm sure those guys, they don't live very long. Boxers don't live very long. I've seen the average lifespan. I saw this thing. I think the NFL buried it, but there was a study that came out a few years ago. I don't remember the exact numbers, but they said the average lifespan of an NFL lineman was something like 47 years. So, I mean, those guys are falling over at just the rate as bodybuilders, but you don't hear about it because they cover it up. The NFL's got a lot of fucking money. They don't talk about it. Professional wrestlers don't live very long. Those guys die. Driving a car around a racetrack going 180 miles an hour or 200 miles an hour, whatever they do, NASCAR, that's pretty fucking dangerous. But here's the thing. Life is full of risk. There are things you can do to mitigate risk. And for me, avoiding risk completely, that's a life I don't want to live. I can sit at home on my couch and watch TV all day long and reduce risk. But that life to me is not worth living. For some people, it may be, some people are so averse to risk that it would cause them so much anxiety. I talk to dudes all the time that get super anxious about taking anything, and I'm like, then you shouldn't be taking anything. If it makes you that anxious and that worried, bodybuilding's not for you, man. If you want to race motorcycles and you're worried about being in a crash, you shouldn't be racing motorcycles. I'm just saying, so there are things you can do to reduce risk. We know that managing your blood pressure, keeping an eye on your health, reducing other risk factors, being smart about your compound choices, knowing when to back off, knowing when to push the gas pedal. It's not to say that it removes risk completely, but you could certainly reduce risk. I give the analogy all the time. It's like racing motorcycles and going around the track 180 miles an hour in your shorts and a t-shirt and no helmet. That's pretty stupid. But bodybuilders do stupid shit all the time. For me, taking an ARB, a blood pressure medicine, is the equivalent of wearing a helmet riding a motorcycle. It's a preventative measure. Almost every bodybuilder you see that's dying is dying of a cardiovascular event. And probably the single most important thing you can do to manage cardiovascular risk is keeping your blood pressure in check and managing your lipids. And how many bodybuilders do that? So to me, that's the equivalent of riding a motorcycle without a helmet. You're greatly increasing the chances of a poor outcome. So, and then, having shitty compound choice on top of it. And I know for a fact that a lot of bodybuilders like to party. They're, a lot of guys like to, they take recreational drugs, they drink, they go out and party. There seems to be a part. Well, at least, I don't know if it's the case anymore, but when I was younger, a lot of the pro bodybuilders, there was a party lifestyle that went along with it. So, it's not as black and white as Seth is saying here. It's not. You take a shot of testosterone, you are going to die. It's not that. It's not that black and white. I get his message, and he's trying to warn young guys to stay away from it. And it is a slippery slope. Usually once you start down that path, there's no turning back. And I tell guys that all the time. It's like getting bit by the vampire. There's no turning back from being a vampire. Once you're a vampire, you're a fucking vampire. So once you get used to training using PEDs, you never want to train natural again. You just don't. So that's just something to keep in mind. And if you're averse to risk, this is not something for you. You are taking some risks. There are risks, but there's varying levels of risk. And for me personally, I don't want to die younger, but at the same time, I don't want to live life on my couch wrapped in bubble wrap. I want to experience things. I want to accomplish things. I want to have some successes. I want to inspire people. I want to push myself and see what I can accomplish. I like doing things that are hard. And if that means that I might live a few years less, that's the price that I will pay. I get it. Maybe I'll change my mind when I'm at that point. But at the same time, I'm not taking unnecessary risk. I'm not riding my motorcycle 180 miles an hour with no helmet on. I do everything I can while taking chances to reduce risk. So I think that's the point here. Just be smart. If you're averse to risk or if you're worried about it, don't get into the sport. If you're worried about a concussion and having brain damage, you shouldn't play football. You shouldn't get in the ring and do MMA. But at the same time, don't judge those people that do. I see a lot of people that like to judge bodybuilders and think, look down on bodybuilders. You have no room to judge. It's up to us. It's the same thing. Somebody wants to get in the ring. They're passionate about fighting, and they want to get their head punched, and they want to punch other people in the face. That's their prerogative. That's their path. That's what fulfills them. That's not your place to judge them. Same thing with football players. If, everybody, I hear a lot of people talk bad about football players. I don't know why these guys go out there and take the chances with their bodies and destroy their bodies and, destroy their brains to play football. They do it because they love it and they want to live life. They want to experience what it's like to be a gladiator. It's what makes them go. Their life doesn't mean much if they don't have that experience. So that's all I'm saying. Life is full of risk. And for me, anything worthwhile has risk involved. Hell, I'm an entrepreneur. I like doing things in business. There's a lot of risk in business, a lot of financial risk. I've lost my ass more than once in business, and you take risk when you go into business. But the reward is worth it. The exhilaration of achieving something is worth it to me. It might not be to you, but that's your journey. We all have our own individual journeys. All right, guys, hopefully you found this helpful. If you want to talk about how you can reduce risk, set up a consultation with me or get with me on coaching if you want to be a bodybuilder. You want to maximize your potential and do it in the safest way possible. You can go to anabolicbodybuilding.com to check out my coaching and consultation calls. You can also contact me at my email address, which is in the description below. If you have comments or questions, put them in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate all of you. I truly do. Thank you.